right. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're really excited to be kicking off the Wisconsin Ag in the Classroom Essay Contest for 2025. And with us this afternoon, I'm so excited to introduce to you Carmen Dekok. She is a legend in the world of essays. Um, and Carmen will probably share more about it, but she is a fourth grade teacher at Roosevelt Elementary in Janesville. And when I began with Ag in the Classroom, she was our Outstanding Teacher of the Year. So that was pretty exciting. But Carmen is really dynamic and is a real champion for the essay contest and for just agriculture in the classroom and literacy in general. So I'm really excited to just introduce her, and she's going to share her tips and tricks and how she implements the essay contest in her fourth grade classroom. So take it away, Carmen.
Okay, well, thank you. Can everyone hear me, first of all?
Yep.
All right, we're great. Okay, maybe I've met some of you this summer. Maybe some of you heard me already speak, but I have done the essay competition for over 10 years. And I did a presentation this summer called The Recipe for Writing. And really, it's just a method that I use when we introduce writing to my fourth graders. So I'm going to try and share my screen of the presentation I gave this summer on the typical steps we use in our fourth grade class. I teach fourth grade in Janesville, Wisconsin, Roosevelt Elementary School. And I've taught fourth grade for, let's see, a lot of years, 17 years, 21 years of fifth grade. So we've done essay competitions for quite a bit. And it's a great research writing that we use in the spring. So we have always incorporated in my classes and the other fourth grade classes as well. All right, so let's see if I can get this to show. All right. Well, now I'm going to, oh, no. All right, I will get my friend to help me. That's what I'm going to do. Yep, now I have to share. I clicked something wrong.
Sounds like me.
Sorry, I'm not very technological.
Stop
share. Oh, I shared the wrong thing.
Yep,
Okay.
you did. So share,
Yep,
Chrome tab, recipe book,
there it is.
share.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so this is my presentation on planting the seeds for success in writing an ag essay. Like I said, I'm a veteran teacher of upper elementary students. My first year I taught sixth grade at Harrison Elementary. Then I did 21 years of fifth grade, and I can't do the math, but I'm 15 or 16 years into 20, or close to 20 years teaching fourth graders. So I grew up in La Crosse County on a dairy farm. My parents were dairy farmers. My brother has taken over the farm with his wife, and they're dairy farmers. So I find agriculture to be very important. Our egg writing usually lasts about 3 to 4 weeks, and generally we can encourage our students to write. We have 25 students in my class this year. Typically, if I can get 20 to 24 essays finished, that's wonderful. So each March, we introduce the Ag in the Classroom topic of the year. And last year was strawberries. So that's why I have a strawberry recipe theme. So the ingredients are, we need the book of the year. And thankfully, we've always been provided with the book of the year. We go online and find related videos. I try to get a hold of some guest presenters. And of course, we taste test foods if it's involved. But if it's a story about tractors and John Deere, or in this case, it might be more about trees, we'll find a different way to incorporate some hands-on for the students. We brainstorm related words. That's very important so that they have a vocabulary base. The first thing we do is we read the book and take notes of interesting words that we find. I provide them with a note-taking sheet that they fill in. This is something that we created and we use it year after year. So if I click on this, hopefully it will show you. This was our strawberry note-taking sheet where we just pretty much make a grid with boxes, and they can write information as they, first of all, we read the story, and then we watch videos, etc. So that's something that we use there.
Hey, Carmen,
Yes.
sorry for interrupting. I just want to let you know we can't see the note sheet, but that sometimes happens when you open up
Oh,
a program.
okay.
So what we can do is share this out through the Google Drive that we have with everyone later, and then they can access it.
Thank you for letting me know that. So it is a live link there, and you can get to that note taking sheet and adjust it as you will. Pretty much, it is a 9 box grid with questions on what is the color, what is the texture, where are they grown, when are they harvested. We just ask a lot of questions, and the kids fill in information as they are finding information. Um, we start, like I said, with the book, and then we pretty much go to safe sites. Um, we try to use our seesaw um, basis for listing links that they could find information that are safe, so that they aren't just surfing the web and Googling information, because they tend to get off track. So that's what we do, is we give them links that are children friendly and has basic information. This past year it was on strawberries. So um, and then you're not gonna be able to see my written outline, but we provide an outline. They use all of their notes, and I wish I could show you my outline. It is a live link that has 23 sentences. The most important thing that we encourage is the introduction and the conclusion. And we have just studied the 4 types of sentences in 4th grade: question, statement, exclamation, and command. And we use this recipe whenever we write an essay. So the first thing is ask a question. Have you ever eaten a strawberry? And then the next thing is a statement. Strawberries are red and have the seeds on the outside. And then they find something exciting about strawberries that they never knew. So that's their exclamatory sentence. And the command is always read on to learn more. So we use this QSEC for their introduction, and then we also use it for the conclusion. They ask another question. Generally, we guide them, and it's like, have you learned a lot about strawberries? Or have you found information interesting about strawberries? And then a statement again about strawberries are nutritious, and then another exciting fact. And then the command at the conclusion is, if you are interested, research more on your own by going to this site. We also keep the bibliography simple, but we do try to make them make a list of the places that they have done their research from. They can use the links that we have provided on Seesaw. They use the book. We kind of provide them how to do a simple bibliography of the book that we read them. And then if there's any YouTube videos, we also use that. Composition, once they do a written draft with their 23 sentences in paragraphs, then they are able to type it up on their iPads. We have brand new Chromebooks. That's why I'm needing assistance, because we ditched the iPads and we now have Chromebooks. We use co-writer for students that have difficulty with writing. We have parent aides come in to give typing skills and patience and help one-on-one with students that are not tech savvy with typing. But most kids, and using their thumbs and telephones, are pretty good at being able to type up their composition on their own. Um, Once they have it written down in their 23 sentences, really all they have to do is type it and word process, and that is really much easier for them. Um, Fast finishers are asked to self-edit, reread the essay 3 times, and try to find any mistakes they made with simple grammatical errors or capitalization, punctuation. Then they pair up, peers edit each other's, and then we talk about word choice, and we try to find 5 words that we could add that are adjectives that would make the writing more interesting. We also try to take out redundant words that they have used too much, mainly the word and. The resources is an entire day of just typing like I said, we have a simple bibliography for the storybook that we read. We cite any YouTube videos. This past season, we had a strawberry farmer come in and present, Scott Skelly from Skelly's Farm Market in Rock County near Janesville. And then he also created a YouTube video of himself talking about strawberries out in his field, and the kids could rewatch it. That was wonderful. So we used the YouTube video. And then the websites, we kind of just narrowed it down to 2 or 3 main websites that we used for the kids to look information up. So that day is just pretty much typing and copying what the teacher tells you to do. And we have an instructional aid that will edit for accuracy to make sure that they've typed it up properly. Step 6, this is probably the longest. It takes at least a week or 2, which is editing. And what I do is they share their Google document with me that they've typed up. And then I have a highlighted text code that I use. And I read through, and if it's red, I highlight it red and I say, take this out. You don't need this information. If I highlight information in yellow, that means you have a grammatical error. Either you forgot punctuation, or you spelled something wrong, or you forgot to capitalize. And if I highlight something in green, I'm like, this sounds good, but I think your information is inaccurate. For instance, if they said strawberries grow in the winter, they maybe were referring to some research they did in California. And I'll have to say, no, our essay is on Wisconsin. That's not accurate. You need to go back and look at that. Not all students are able to edit perfectly, but at least it gives them an idea of fixing up and making their writing better. We add our descriptive words. I generally say, just can you find 5 interesting words to add? And then they reshare their essay with me with their corrections. I try to sit down with each student. It takes a long time. And we go through it together. I have them read it out loud, and they tell me what what they're thinking. I try not to change their work at all. It's their work. I just try to make it as perfect as possible with punctuation and grammatical things. We get a formative evaluation on that. Um, Another thing to keep them busy while I'm editing and sharing essays with each student is we try to draw a picture. This year, I think we did markers, crayons, colored pencils, and made a border out of strawberry vines. We knew they grew on how plants grew, and they got to make strawberry vines around their picture. Sometimes I just make them draw a picture of themselves in that situation. We don't always include that, but it keeps them busy while I'm editing. So we did the border this time. We put it on construction paper, and then we follow all of the requirements. So we have to take their name off, I believe, off the front, and we have to add the information on the back and glue it down. And it all takes time. The big culmination is reading their essays out loud in front of their peers. So we try to either do that as a whole class, or I might break them into 2 or 3 groups where they can read with an instructional aid. I also get a lot of parent volunteers that come in and help me during this time. And again, I get a lot of grades off of this, formative grades and summative grades. I grade their note-taking sheet. I grade their rough draft sheet. I grade their final draft. And I grade their grammatical, like when they send it to me the first time, are they pretty solid with not having a lot of grammatical errors? These are just a few pictures of my students from last year. This is on the right, Scott Skelly. He is presenting to our 4th graders, our regular ed 4th graders, with his YouTube video and answering questions. And we did strawberry tasting. And this was in March, so he didn't have any strawberries, but I think we had some of his strawberry preserves. And he talked about the difference between California and Mexico strawberries and Florida strawberries versus coming straight out of Wisconsin. The center picture is of Eleanor. She was the state winner this year from Janesville. And her teacher was actually Jen Nowotny, and we are co-teachers together. And both of our classes do this together. We even kick it off together. So we've got about 50 students hearing that information at one time. And then we break off into our own writing. Here's another picture of Eleanor at the top, and on the bottom are some of my students. And we had our sharing day where they actually they read their essays and then they got strawberry floats using strawberry soda and ice cream, and they were really delicious and real strawberries. So yeah. So in conclusion, it takes a good 3 or 4 weeks to get through everything. And we try to get everyone to have something on the wall when we're finished. But basically, we introduce the topic, we take notes, we do a draft, we compose it on our Google Doc, we make a resource list together. Editing takes a long time, and then we do a final and conclusion and share and make a sharing day of it. So it's a big writing project, and it's wonderful that I have another teacher to work with and lots of parent volunteers help me out. So, and I think that's my contact information that I put at the end. If you have questions, and yeah, that's my presentation. I can stop sharing now. Is that okay? Okay. All right. Did that stop?
Yes, you are
Okay.
all set. So I loved your layout, and I know that we had some technical issues with the note sheets, but thank you for kind of diving into that and keeping those links, and we'll share those out. So I actually have a question for you about the book of the year, because you mentioned that you do receive it. Rock County, I know, uh, distributes them. How do you use that book? Do you use it in that kind of kickoff day?
Yes.
I'm
And
curious.
then we use the book as we kick it off and read it out loud to the students. And then we use it as a reference. A lot of kids will go and use the book and open it and reread it as they're taking notes.